Hello, everyone. So it's a great honor to be back on stage of Red Hat USA again. And with the growing popularity of AI applications, this year we had focused on our research on the leverage attention for semantic detection. We're going to apply those features to address the challenge of detecting obfuscated and packaged malware that the blue team commonly encounter in practice. That's our goal today. And before we started, allow me to introduce ourselves. We are TS1P research team from Taiwan. And I'm Mars, currently I'm the research manager. And also, over the past years, I've spoken at many cybersecurity conferences over 14 times around the world. And in my right side, Shenhao, who is our team lead of research team. He also spoke at many cybersecurity conferences. And Ian is one of our dedicated researchers. And we were presenting the exciting content of this event. So, due to the time constraints, our agenda today will be very tidy. But we still will share very awesome content with you guys here. And first, we will review and check the challenge blue team's members face when dealing with a large volume of malware samples. And next, we will discuss how we use the practical Neural-Symbolic transformer we proposed to address this issue. And after providing a clear understanding of our proposed CuIDA, our model, we will share how it has effectively assisted in the real-world scenario. And finally, we will present how this tool can be utilized by the blue team at large. So, what is the difficult problem the blue team faces in the current stage? The sheer volume of highly obfuscated malware samples and the commercial packers make it challenging to analyze and identify specific malicious behaviors. Additionally, Windows shellcode is often hidden and difficult to prevent. It is usually too late by the time the dynamic execution of a shellcode is detected. So, although it is challenging, experienced malware analysts can still decipher obfuscated functions by leveraging those accumulated knowledge over time. For example, using tools like IDA-Pro, ASP can identify that file flag belongs to created file functions. And they can then determine that v13, the variable, is a file handle and subsequently verify it against the invalid handle value before proceeding to get file size. And this process of reasoning and reverse engineering program code through the continuous data reference relationship is systematically in the UNIT's 2022 study. However, the number of the human aspects is inherently limited. When faced with the large volume of malware, they cannot scale to handle this work effectively. This is why we aim to automate the process with AI modeling to ensure timely and precise analysis on a much larger time scale. So, in order to deal with the issue of identifying unknown API codes, we proposed a related method at Red Hat USA 2022. Our approach uses taint analysis as a foundation for performing semantic analysis of APIs and employs various export rules to effectively identify unknown API sequence. However, this method has its limitations. It requires human experts to write numerous rules to aid in identifying unknown APIs. The sheer volume of rules needed is overwhelming, and it is challenging to cover the entire scope comprehensively due to human constraints and the potential for oversight. You may be curious about how human experts can deduce unknown symbols from data relationships. Let's take a look at a few practical examples here. Consider a distributed Windows API with 7 parameters. Intuitively, among the various options, the only Windows API with 7 parameters is create file, making it relatively straightforward to identify in this case. But What if the current unknown API has 4 parameters, and all possible options also have 4 parameters here? In this scenario, it is essential to base our judgment on the parameter value and their data type. For instance, if the first parameter is of type integer and the 4 parameters is a flag with a common value like 105, 401, and 180, we can determine that only residual window of API inhibit this usage pattern. Our goal is enable AI to learn and recognize such unknown APIs through those detailed parameters feature and usage habits. So now that we already know and we already built up our goal here, and let's take a look of our practical neural-symbolic transformer. We named our model CuIDA, which stands for CuIDA, Trained Inference Decompiler Agent. Through our research in 2022, we utilized taint analysis to identify unknown APIs by considering the function argument precisions and the tokenized symbols required for pre-operation. After proceeding through the trained model, we can calculate and obtain the possible API names. And the output is then applied to our 3 tools, designed specifically for the routin's practical analysis need, and is having proven to be helpful for the real-world applications. Of course, we also review the past research, and for instance, NDS's 2018 research. In this research, they analyzed the unknown API identification through static analysis methods, achieving quite high accuracy. However, the hidden markup model, they use lake precision-wise semantics. This limitation can create an issue when making association between different unknown APIs. Following this method, research at Israel has considered a similar issue. They attempted to infer symbol names from data reference relationship, and they use attention mechanism to effectively recode the position-wise semantic, resulting in higher YAM performance. But why is the precision information is so important here? Sequentiality is closely related to the importance of semantic here. And that's why we apply precision-wise semantic encoding to our attention model. So, because scaled dot product attention can effectively capture not only the numerical distribution typically found in API parameters data, but also the different semantics that each API parameters precision should inhibit through precision encoding in attention. It can relate the data more accurately, and the semantics are projected into a 3-dimensional matrix of QKV models, query key and value here, and can effectively predict the likelihood of each unknown APIs. And this approach allowed us to comprehensively analyze the contextual and positional information, leading to more accurate identification of unknown APIs. And therefore, returning to our core idea, we aim to use human aspect to analyze and understand the behavioral intentions associated with the unique attack methods or API usage combinations. By combining taint analysis with AI models, we seek the model and automate the aforementioned human understanding process. This approach allowed us to leverage similar data reference relationships encountered in the future to automatically infer attack behavior that resemble those observed during the model training stage. Among of that, the relationship between different APIs can be analyzed through the embedding and the taint analysis. The attention model is then used to record the data usage habits of those common APIs. Here, we had introduced our CuIDA architecture and the principle behind that. And now, I will hand over to Shenghao, and who will share the case of the practical application of our model here.
Okay, thanks for Mark's briefly intros. But however, we know less difficulty for us, less difficulty to use the attention engine to capture use on the strip binary for the detection. So I will go more further to talk about how we use word embedding to capture the real world API usage on the strip binary. So first of all is how do we create a symbolic engine to collect, to extract those API sequences from the strip binary. For example, here you can see in the Black Hat 2022, we have shared the idea how we do so. For example, on the right side, you can see here, let us decompile results from the IDA Pro. Here, that is unknown code right here. And we can find out the integer number usage by this API code is 244000. So our engine all need to do is to collect such an integer number used by an unknown code right here so that we can get the API sequence. And we also mentioned our engine don't want to execute or simulate the binary behavior, right? So all we need to do is to simplify to replace the return value of such an unknown code as a magic number. So what if any further API codes use a magic number as the argument value of previous API codes, and we can capture the relationship between the previous API code and the further API codes. But however, we know as a NLP process program, and we know that it's difficult to do representation for all, to do word embedding and representation for all the possible semantics on the binary level. And for example, you can see emerging in the Windows 64-bit, the integer size can be large to very large, for example, 100 terabyte, which means if you want to embed in all the possible semantics on the binary level integer, at least you should have a very large database, for example, 100 terabyte. So from here, we have to find some way to reduce the semantics on the, from the reversing perspective. For example, right here, as a human expert, you can see here, let us integer right there, and the integer is a memory page and also executable. So as a human expert, we might guessing that it's the assembly code right here. So all we need to do is simplify such an integer number into a token ID as the assembly code or shellcode right there. And also you can see another integer right here is readable, writable, but non-executable. So as a human expert, we might guessing is that a memory page? So some kind of data on that memory page, right? So we can classify such an integer number into its own data type. For example, like Unicode string, ANSI string, or local buffer. So we can simplify such a memory page into their own data type as a token ID. But however, we still know a lot of binary label in semantics, a lot of integer, just a pure integer, but carrying with a meaningful semantics. For example, you can see here, for example, when Windows kernel receives A0000, this magic number, which means the Windows kernel will say, oh, somebody in the user mode tried to open a file into the readable mode. And also, another case right here, you can see the Windows kernel receives an error code like C000FD. The Windows kernel will recognize that is definitely a stack overflow happened in somewhere, some application just crashed. So actually, Microsoft have predefined a lot of a magic number carrying with the meaningful semantics for the developer. All we need to do is simplify such an integer into human readable and the Microsoft predefined human readable string as the token ID. Cool. So once we can build up a solid practical engine to extract those API sequence from the strip binary and represent them into word embedding for attention engine to detect, so we can try to build up a successful AI engine to detect a real-world attack. And also, we want to share our AI model directly for the community to use. So we want to train a tiny AI model that can capture as more as possible the real-world attack. So we decided to choose the data set we collect from the VirusTotal we collect all the APT binary listed on the MITRE. And in total, we collect 3,300 binaries, and which containing the 770K API sequence to capture the real-world attack, the Windows API usage. So here, let's see a quick demo right here. And you can see on the picture, we choose one of the VirusTotal highly obfuscated binary right here. You can see this binary don't want anybody know what kind of API address it tries to use to do something harmful. But however, you can see here, our engine can detect that is definitely internet open A right here. Why? Because the usage of the argument 01000 is very unique, and in our data set and training data set only happen on the internet open file or open A. So, and also our AI engine can detect the 1 put at integer 1 put at position 2 stand for internet open type directly. And also you can see another case without any human pre-write rule, signature, virus signature, whatever. And our AI engine ever training large scale training, and our AI engine can detect the magic number A002 put at position 1 stand for the H key current user. And so our AI engine know, oh, the first position need to put a H key current user. That is definitely a register creator key X right here. And we also, as we know, the deep learning is very black box, right? So we try to explain how the under the hood, the AI model, how our AI model is such a simple and powerful, but how it do the inference reasoning, right? So we choose the Facebook Meta's research in 2023, the Captain platform to explain this. For example, right here, you can see there's unknown code right here is a register query value X right here. And first, our AI engine can notice that is the magic number H key current user because of the first position, A002 put at position 1 stand for the H key. So the AI engine will say, oh, I need to find some API name, but those APIs should be related to the Windows register key. And also, the second position put the argument of the Unicode string buffer right here. So our AI engine can do the reasoning about, is there any Windows API first position should put H key current user, and the second one, the argument value should be put a Unicode string right here. So the AI engine will detect, oh, maybe I'm guessing the correct answer is register query value X. Okay. Cool, but we know the demo just show the data set we choose from the VirusTotal, but we are more than curious about, is there any very sneaky APT backdoor for long year persistence on our system? We never noticed them because of our detection engine cannot capture those hidden behavior from the stream binary. Is that happening we didn't know for a long year? So to answer this question, so we decide to do the large-scale thread hunting on the VirusTotal. We use VirusTotal to search those highly obfuscated binary only half vendor say they are malicious file. And we also use our AI engine to extract those hidden behavior, sensitive hidden behavior from those highly obfuscated binary to extract those behavior, malicious behavior the bad guy don't want you to know. And we are very curious about what kind of attack they are trying to do and hide from us. So on the right side, you can see it's a quick demo on our GitHub. You just clone the project, and you can directly to use our AI engine to scan any program. Is there any hidden behavior inside this string binary? And in this large-scale thread hunting, we found out two evasion strategy is on fire in the wild. First one is anti-sandbox and anti-simulation techniques still on fire. A lot of binary with the highly obfuscated binary, and they will try to aware they are under virtual machine or VMware, whatever. So they will try not to expose the real behavior to expose to the endpoint detection. And the second one is my favorite, is the abuse the hybrid .NET code. .NET program containing the assembly part of code at the same time, it's very difficult for endpoint detection to do the detect. Okay, so in this large scale, for the whole month, we collect the fresh malware sample, fully obfuscated, only half vendor recognize them. And we found out if we use the Yara rule directly to scan them, and the Yara rule, commercial Yara rule can directly to scan, recognize 78 different behavior are insensitive. For example, keylogger, screenshot, and also CNC communication or UPS packer, those are insensitive, can be recognized by the Yara rule. However, we found out more than 400 binary content with the very malicious behavior don't want to expose to the endpoint detection. For example, privilege escalation, or somebody, the binary try to scan the anti-malware service name, or try to disable your Windows Defender. Okay, so there's a lot of, in this large scale threat hunting, we found out a lot of evidence, but we choose two of them is more interesting one we want to introduce to show the ability of our AI engine. You can see here, get a spatial path folder W is used by this VirusTotal binary, and you can see here on the picture right here, you can see our AI engine can be recognized there is a get a spatial folder path W. Why? Because the magic number 7 and the 16 magic number 16 put that argument position 3 stand for CLSID startup and CLSID Dexa dictionary. So that is very unique. Only put on those magic number only happen on the argument position 3 will happen such as semantics. And our AI can recognize them. However, you know, as a human expert, we are human. When we see, a binary uses 7 and 16, we cannot say that is a magic number. But our AI engine can do so. And also, this one is my favorite, is somebody is trying to build out a more sneaky backdoor, abuse the hybrid VC.NET design. And you can see on the picture, only 2 vendors recognize that it's a malicious program. Because of this program is fully writing in the C#.NET code, but this .NET program containing the C assembly part of function to do the process following. So you can see here on the picture right here is IDA result. You can see that is C++ function right here, and you can see it try to use the hidden API like create process, virtual locate, write process memory to do the process following. However, those hidden API only be initialized in the .NET code, which means if your modern detection engine cannot at the same time to simulate the .NET part of code and the assembly part of code at the same time, you won't see the full attack behavior happening right now doing the process following. Okay, here Ian will go more further to talk about how we use the AI engine to do detection on the shellcode without simulation, and also unpacking a commercial packer without unpacking.
Okay, so thanks to Shenghao for specifying more details on our engine and also show the first use case. So now let us see our engine on Windows shellcode without executing it. So first of all, we need to know that shellcode is usually designed to be as simple as possible. This is because that the memory layout is unstable, and when the attackers are wanting to design their shellcode, they will tend to design them as a small piece of code without difficult obfuscation. This is because that they don't want their shellcode lead to unexpected crashes. So with this understanding, if we can identify those symbols of those unknown instructions without running the shellcode payload, it will be easier for us to understand the general behaviors for detection. So we use our engine to work through each code block of the shellcode and collecting the use-defined chain, as mentioned before, to infer the unknown APIs used in the shellcode. So, such as those yellow boxes inside the picture, we can see that these are the instructions that our engine is trying to capture as the use-defined chain. So, let us go on to see more further in the picture. And on the left side of the picture, on the red boxes over there, it is trying to parse the export table of the Internet Connect A function. And the yellow boxes under the red boxes is trying to preparing those arguments for the Internet Connect A function. So the use-defined chain that our engine is trying to do is to collect these kind of argument set to help our engine to infer what kind of unknown APIs is inside the shellcode. So here, now let's see another practical case. So this Cobalt Strike HTTP stacker is first seen on May 2023. And as we can see on the right side of the picture of the yellow boxes there, we can see there is some shellcode payload hidden inside there. So as our engine, it can go deeper inside this shellcode payload and get the left side of the picture of the red boxes over there. That is the parameters that the unknown APIs is going to use. So as we can see on the picture over there, and we can see that our engine is the Windows PowerShell squared by the orange. It predicted there is a virtual alloc function over there. So we can see that it actually collected the parameters that it gives in, and also finds out that there is actually some magic number like the 40H, which is represented as the RWX memory protection flag for virtual alloc function. So here is our video demo on the Windows shellcode. So as we put inside the sample into our engine, and it will give you up the top 5 priority that it predicts for the APIs. And if it's not, if it's fewer than 5, then it will give you the available one. So as we can see in the result, we can find out that there might be a HTTP open request over there. So as a human analysis, you can try to double check it with our engine and make sure that it actually is a HTTP open request over there. And for the next one is the virtual alloc one. So we can start to infer that this shellcode is actually doing some C2 Connect server and maybe try to drop some files because as using virtual alloc might be that the shellcode wants to implement allocate some new memory size for the drop file. And the last one is that our engine actually finds out that there is an internet read file over there. So it is trying to drop the file from its C2 server. So this is our video to demonstrate that our engine can assist human analysis on the shellcode without executing it. So now let's move on to the third use case, which we trying to use our engine to dissect the behavior of commercial packers without unpacking those packed programs. So as first, we need to know that what kind of detection problem of modern commercial packers are posing to modern AV and EDR solutions. So it is because that if we want to detect pure program for the AV or EDR system, we need to first extract the original pure code for the detection. And to extract the original pure code, we might have to go through the 3 following steps. Which is the first step is to dump the process to get the memory layout of the packed program. So after dumping the process and getting the memory layout, we might have to find the original entry point of the original program so that we can go through the original program after finding the OEP. And after finding this, we need to have the third step, which is rebuild the import table. So to know what kinds of the Windows APIs and what kinds of the functions that the original program is using. But however, commercial solutions also knew that these kind of steps, these kind of methods. So they tend to implement more techniques to stop human analysis to get the OEP, the original entry point, and also stop them from getting rebuild the import table by using some probably like router functions to stop us to rebuild the import table. However, we use our engine to try to scan through the packed programs, and we found out that without unpacking it, we actually can get the unknown APIs that the packed program is using. So this is the first practical case that we want to show. As the picture shows that we are actually inside a VM protect packed programs. And as on the bottom right side of the Windows PowerShell, we can see that our engine actually detects that there's a virtual alloc function over there by getting those arguments and by the use definition, the method that we use. And this practical case is actually something interesting we want to share about. And this is not the original program itself, and it is the VM Protect program itself. So we found out that there is a write process memory over there, and why it is doing this kind of function over here is because that it is trying to get that whether this program is running inside a sandbox or not. So on the top of the pictures, sorry for the tiny text, but on the if statement, it is trying to write a huge integer number on the 64-bit section, which is that this program is actually running at the 32-bit process, which doesn't make sense if it can run on the 64-bit. So it used this kind of integer to write on. If it can write on, that means that we are running on the sandbox. So it is the VM Protect itself trying to check that whether this program is running on sandbox or not. So as we can see, the above two practical cases we presented are all VM Protect itself. But as we thinking about it, while we can use our engine on one of the commercial packers, why not the others? So we also try on the beta too, and it actually works well. So now let us see the video demo of our engine on packed programs. As we can see that this program is packed by the VM Protect itself. And because it is scanning through the whole program, whole packed program, so it might take a few seconds. So we just speed up the demo for quicker demonstration. And we can see that we open the program inside the IDA Pro also. And as the result, we can see that it scans about like 30 seconds. And also we can find some interesting result inside what kinds of the APIs that our engine detected. So there is probably a create process over here. So as mentioned on the last video, human analysis can use our engine to assist them for faster reversing. And also, our engine found out that there is actually a regis open key over there, which is actually correct because as we can see on the IDA Pro, it is trying to open regis key under the current version. And the next one is virtual alloc, which is interesting because this is actually the packer program itself. It is trying to allocate a new memory for its packer itself. And we also find that there is a get module file temp, which VM Protect is trying to using to check that whether its packer is still running or not. Yeah, so this is our video on packed programs. And let's move on to the last part, the conclusion and takeaways. So after presenting all our use cases, there are still some constraints and limitations on our engines. So the first constraint is the difficulties of taint analyze with multi-threads or OLLVM. And there are three common problems light inside here. And the first one is the classic path explosion. And the second one is the halting problem of the OLLVM. And the third one is the multi-thread or the cross-threading data passing issue. So the first classic path explosion is prevented by our engine. It's because that our engine doesn't go through all the branches of the code. We only record the relationship on the cross-data observation. This helps us to prevent the path explosion problem. However, for the OLLVM and the performance issues to scan those binary files in a limited time, and also recording all the use-defined chains on a highly flattened control flow graph, it is a halting problem that we need to solve. And the third one for the data initializing in multi-threads or those cross-thread data passing in the real time are classic challenges for taint analyze. And the second constraint we want to point it out is the binary coverage issue of the strict binaries. So as mentioned in the paper, so all you ever wanted to know about 32 and 64-bit binary disassembly, the state-of-the-art community disassemblers can only uncover up to 80% of the binary functions. And even for those commercial or nationally supported disassemblers that use heuristic pattern matching, they can only achieve up to 95 to 98% of the coverage, which means that that is not fully 100%. And this will lead to that the attackers still have some strategies, or they can still build some weird or unusual functions to bypass, to evade the decomplication and hidden their malicious behavior from the detection engine. So at the end of this talk, we will open source our tool on the GitHub as the QR code showed, and we hope that our tool can empower the Blue Team community. And for the takeaways, we hope that after this talk, audience can learn about the strategies for using machine learning on practical malware analysis, such as against those highly obfuscated code or even those commercial solutions. And we also hope that audience can understand some of the limitations of the auto-sandbox, such as analyzing those hybrid code samples, like VC.NET samples. So our presentation ends here, and thanks for your coming. And if you have some questions due to the time limitation, please try to catch us on the internet through our email or our Twitter. Thank you.